Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed by the guests and hosts of this show are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the company or the show itself.
Hello, Explora bookworms. Welcome again to the program where we explore and talk about books, Explora Talks. And this is a very special segment of Explora Talks because we're going to talk to authors who will be doing a book signing at the Beijing International Book Fair. This is the Road to Beijing. Now, Beijing, as we all know, is located in China, and one of the biggest book fairs in the world is actually located in Beijing. That's the Beijing International Book Fair, and it's going to happen at the Beijing International Convention Center this June 17 to 21. And so we're very excited to see you all there. If you haven't booked your flights yet, come visit us. Come book your flights right now and visit us at our booth. We have an exclusive booth at the International Book Fair of Beijing, and it's located just right next to HarperCollins and Macmillan, just at the back of these traditional publishers. And that's why we're very excited to feature our authors there. If you are an author and you would like to get signed up, and if you'd like to join us at a book signing or just do a book display at the Beijing International Book Fair, go contact us at explorabooks.com right now. Go to our website and click on the contact tab, and our numbers are all there. Give us a call and we'll book you a spot. The spots are only limited, so you only have very, very few days to go before you can secure your spot. So call us right now. Now, today I'm going to talk about a very prolific author. He has mind-blowing ideas, and I think this is going to blow your mind. This interview is going to make you rethink and reimagine your life because he has written a very spiritual and a very eye-opening book that everyone who are watching us right now should grab a copy. I'm talking about the author who will go to the Beijing International Book Fair and who will join us for a book signing activity. The author of the book, Soul License, Tips and Tales, it's Mr. David Tuttle. Hello, David, and welcome to Road to Beijing.
Hello, Joel. It's good to be here.
Now, I've seen you in a lot of book fairs. Well, for me, 3 is a lot. We have been to Frankfurt, we've been to London, and I'm very excited with the Beijing International Book Fair because this is one of the biggest book fairs in the world. In fact, it's the second largest book fair in terms of land area and book titles. I'm sure you're excited. But this time, David, walk us through your background. I mean, you are retired, I believe, and you are doing this to share a story. But what were you doing when, decades before? What was your profession like? I mean, tell us about your career.
Well, basically, I'd been in the Army, and then I used the GI Bill to go to college and get a bachelor's degree in journalism and a master's degree. And I worked on newspapers, and then I went to, after 4 years, I went to work for the Ohio Secretary of State, and I was his PR man for a couple of years. And he lost an election, and then I went to the House of Representatives and Ohio House and worked there for a year before I decided to do something else.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was actually looking for a humanistic type job. I was tired of newspapers and politics, and I knew I had a Lutheran Brotherhood policy, and I called the local guy, and he said I'd have to move to Minneapolis, Minnesota to do that, and I didn't want to do that. And he said, "Well, why don't we go have lunch?" And I said, "All right." And he convinced me at the lunch that I should be a Lutheran Brotherhood agent, and so I started there and selling insurance and investments and financial planning, and became a CLU and a CHFC, and I did that for 20 years.
Mhm. Wow.
And then, but during that time, I had a lot of extra time where I could write or where I could listen to tapes and also read books, because I became interested in the near-death studies that had come out in late in the late 70s and things on that order. So my spiritual journey, different than my religious journey, started
Mhm.
then.
Mhm.
And then 2000, my wife and I uh, were told that we should do Reiki or Tai Chi by
Mhm.
an energy worker in Sedona and to clear our chakras. And so we went and did that. Or
Mhm.
my wife saw an advertisement, and when we went home to Columbus, Ohio, and the said a Reiki teacher was going to be coming through
Mhm.
Cincinnati, and they have classes there. So my wife wanted to go. I didn't really care about that, but she convinced me. And so we both went down and became Reiki teachers, Reiki practitioners at that point.
Mhm.
And I had a very unusual experience with energy flowing out of my hands and also my third eye,
Wow.
center of the forehead, which it's very much surprised me. So
Wow.
we practiced for about 6 months, then went back to Sedona, Arizona, and to get our Reiki Master Teacher
Mhm.
certificates, and then we did that
Wow.
till I think about 20 years. And
Wow.
I'm still a
Amazing.
Reiki Master, and but I'm not teaching anymore. I use Reiki every day and send energy to people and events and things in that order. But
Mhm.
that's been fun.
Wow.
And of course,
Um,
we taught a lot of classes. Yeah.
yes, David, for those who may not be familiar with Reiki and chakra, these are things that not all people are very familiar about. Can you tell us what this is about? Like, what is a Reiki?
Reiki is a Japanese term because the guy that started it was in Japan. So that's how we got that. But it's basically working with universal life energy, is what they call it, and it's all around you. Uh, if you just put your hands down your side and
Mhm.
lifted them up to the ceiling, did that
Mm,
6 times, you can feel energy coming through your hands
wow.
if you do that. Wow. Yeah. And that shows you that the energy is there. And everybody has the possibilities of healing energy.
Mhm.
If they just have that door open by a Reiki master or some other venue that happens. There are others types of energy out there also,
Mhm. Mhm.
but it's a very good thing to have, and you can have it once you're attuned to it. You're open to use it your entire life. You can send good energy to everyone. If you can be on your deathbed, send energy to yourself, and send energy to everybody else on your way across to the
Wow.
other side. So it's a good thing to have in your toolbox. It's
Yes.
use.
Wow, amazing. And this is something that you only realized after you studied it and you were able to join a group in Sedona. And so your third eye was open, and that is the reason why you get these messages coming from the departed loved ones, which is actually written here in Soul License Tips and Tales. Now,
Yeah.
by the way,
Well,
yes, go
well,
ahead.
actually, it's I was getting messages before that
Wow. Okay.
license plate. It's when my brother-in-law passed at age 50. He would send us little messages on our way to Alabama. He drove
Yeah.
a red car or a red van, and he and my wife or my sister and their kids would come to Ohio, and we go down there and see him and go to other places. But when he crossed, we went down to see my sister, and the messages appeared on the van reflecting that. his wife and kids and things on that order. So I was getting used to it then, but I thought that was a type of a one and done
Yeah.
because I wasn't really looking for anything. And then at one point, uh, we saw my father license plates, and I think that might have been after it was Reiki, but we had seen other signs like that, and even in street signs about with my brother-in-law contacting us
Hmm.
when we
Hmm.
travel. We'd see a street sign that would have his name or something like that.
Wow.
Uh, so but so anybody can do that. You just have to be open to it because your relatives on the other side are always trying to contact you to let you know that you're safe and they're safe. And so it's
Yes,
just
yes.
kind of a fun thing to have with you.
Of course, and these messages have meanings that they want to tell you. It's actually telling of the messages that they want to impart. And, some people, they feel that their departed loved ones are not communicating through to them. But actually, the fact here at Soul License, the book that you've written, is the people who have departed from this world actually have messages, and it comes through numbers that you keep on seeing every day. It could be license plates that we see every day, and it's not by accident. Am I right, David? It's not by accident that you see these numbers, and it's just a matter of really opening up, as what David said, opening it up to that, to the message, and it will come to you. Now, talk to us about the book. It says here that it focuses on either a specific technique or memory that links the author's spiritual journey to that time or place. And when it comes to his use of license plates or other letter or number combinations to pick up on a loved one's looking down on him, he presents the methodology in a clear and direct way without inundating the reader with long winded explanations. As we can see, it's a very short read book, but it's packed, I should say, packed with a lot of lessons. Now, tell us about your experiences and, this specific technique that you mentioned here in the book without spilling all the beans, without telling people about the core techniques. Maybe you could share some of that.
Uh, well, I gave in the book, I talk about different techniques to relieve stress and
Hmm.
things in that order. But the deep breathing and tapping, the number of different things that you can do. Yeah, even and well, of course, meditation, which I have been doing for quite a while. Yeah.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
and that although I've been meditating since the early 70s, yeah, that basically came to me in a newspaper job, but I interviewed somebody, but yeah, I didn't look at that as a spiritual thing at that point. It was more a stress relief
Hmm.
that and I found that technique very very useful. But as
Yeah.
I went on in my readings and everything else, it was leading me in other areas also. But
Mm.
yeah, there are a lot of tips in there that I give that can help people. If they if they
Mhm.
totally disregard everything else I've said in that book, which they will have something beneficial to take with them regardless.
Yes, yes. And I believe that the experience is personal. It varies from person to person. And who knows, they might be able to uncover something else, like, there's a spiritual capability that, a person has. It varies
Yeah.
person to person. And so by reading this book and trying to figure out how you can open your own spiritual capabilities as well is something so interesting, David. So this book is now translated to not just, this is an original English, American English book, of course, but this has been translated already to first in a German language, and it's already available in Amazon Germany and all other German book outlets and bookstores online. But we also have a Chinese translation of this. This will be available, the Chinese version will be available at the Beijing International Book Fair this coming June. And as I've told you, folks, David Tuttle will be there personally to greet and meet you. So come visit us at the Explora booth, Explora Books booth. We're located at a certain level. I'm not sure what that is, but you can check out our website. This is a huge book fair, and you might get lost, just like what we did in Frankfurt, David. We got lost. Sometimes you get lost because of the how big it is. The immense floor area. So the same with Beijing. Please do look for us. The booth number is actually on our website, and so come visit David Tuttle there at the Explora Books booth. Now, any parting words, David, for your readers? What would be your message to people who just wants or who are interested to really get these messages? They want to know what this is all about, how to open up their spiritual capability. Can you tell our viewers about that? What is your message for them?
Well, you can start out by just being aware daily of what's in your presence, what's near you. If you want messages from the other side,
Mhm,
if you're
mhm.
going through some kind of trauma, they might get a light burnout or something,
Yes.
or messages on a clock, the numerals on a clock by
Mhm.
uh, deleting or from your angels. They could be angel numbers, or they could be uh, the numbers from birth dates and anniversaries of your deceased loved ones.
Yeah.
But you can see these messages anywhere, and if you read the book, I think it'll give you a very good start on your spiritual journey, because there's a lot of things out there, and it's good to have a good place to start. And I think the book will bring that to the people. So
That's right. This is for people who want to know what, like an introduction of Reiki, right? This is like an introduction to someone who would like to get messages from their departed loved ones, and you have not been into a formal schooling of Reiki or chakra. If you want to know what this is and better understand that there are messages coming from our departed loved ones, want to know meditation, want to know spiritual connection, how to calm your mind and spirit, this is the right book for you. Am I right, David?
yes, I think you'll get a lot of information and lots of interesting stories that I've revealed. Some of the things that have happened to me.
Yes, yes.
So
That's right.
I think they'll enjoy it. Yeah.
That's right. You will find this a very interesting book. And let me just uh, talk about the blurb. Soul License follows the author through his experiences with spiritual energy, spirit guides, psychics, and angels, allowing readers to come away with a feeling of hope and peace. That's so important nowadays, especially in this world of uncertainty. There's so many things happening in the world right now, David. There's
Right.
wars, and there's a lot of reasons for people to get anxious, and so anxiety and depression is really prevalent across all nations, not just in the US and Canada. But I believe there's a lot of countries that, their citizens suffer from anxiety and depression. And this book could pave the way for you to really get to have that spiritual connection, open up your spirit, and be able to meditate. I think it's giving time, I think, David, giving time for yourself. I think this is what's important, because nowadays professionals such as myself do not have the time to really look for ways on how we can pause, and think of our own lives, and focus on the spirit, be grounded because of the busyness of life. There's so
Right.
many things happening in our lives, especially a millennial like me. um, we are too focused about work and social media. What can you say to these young people who suffer with depression, anxiety, and just the busy life? And how can they find time?
Well, you make time actually, but when I wrote that book, I called on the angels and guides every time I sat down to write,
Mhm.
and so I wasn't looking for a big long book, and but I just put every chapter has something could be valuable to you, and you can read that very quickly,
Yeah.
and it'll be a start to having a little peace in your life.
Wow. And I love this chapter 6. It's star guided, right? Star guided. It's in the 14th page of the book. You need to have like a star that would guide you to where your path is heading. Am I right? And a lot of people, they get lost along the way. And if you're guided by a star, am I right? You will get to your destination.
Well, I think I was talking about horoscopes
Hmm.
and that in that chapter,
Oh, yeah.
but
Yeah.
not
All right.
horoscopes, but yeah, right. But
Yes,
yeah,
that's right.
the yeah, but it's when you know the signs of people and things like that, and also it's a broad area of study. So,
That's right. Amazing, amazing. And one thing is for sure, I'm sure that the Chinese people would be very, very, would be very, very interested about this book because Chinese also have their own horoscopes. They also have their own spiritual beliefs, that, and they're very grounded spiritually, Chinese people. And it goes all the way from the ancient times where people really believe in nature, in the spirit, and they have this connection with nature. And I believe that this is going to be an exciting activity for you, doing a book signing, giving this out to the Chinese community, and not just Chinese, because there are 110 countries participating the Beijing International Book Fair. So we're gonna expect not just Chinese people, but we're gonna expect the whole Asian continent, the European, business people who are working in the publishing world, Americans, Canadians, Australians. 110 countries are going to converge at the Beijing International Book Fair, and we're hoping for the best for this book, Soul License Tips and Tales. David, thank you so much for your time, and we are very excited to see you in Beijing.
I, I'm excited to be going. We'll see you. Thank you.
We'll see you there again. We love David. We've seen him. We've met him in two big book fairs that we've participated so far in London and Frankfurt, and this time in Beijing. We're gonna have a good time there, David. So thank you very much for your time. And again, for those who would like to get a copy of this book right now, the QR code is displayed right now on your screen. Please do scan the QR code over through your phones and it will route you to the Amazon profile of the book where you can add it to cart or buy it right now. Buy it and it will be delivered right to your doorstep. You will have a great time. And, for me, this is a short read book. You can read this for a day or just a few hours. You can finish reading this one and get something from it. What's important is you get a time for yourself to reflect on these, tips and tales coming from David Tuttle. Once again, thank you, David. And this has been Road to Beijing. See you again next time. See you, David, in Beijing.
Bye bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye for now. Thank you very much, Explore Bookworms. Till our next Road to Beijing program here on Explora Talks, a special segment of Explora Talks. For those again who would like to publish or market their books, visit www.explorabooks.com to learn more. This has been Joel, your host for today. Goodbye and see you in Beijing, China.